Hello again, friends. Hello, Kingdom Collective. Hello, everybody. And even hello, Karmishas and Carmichaels, fucking karmics and spiritual karmists, ops related people, and corrupt ops officials. Fuck y'all, but hello also. This message is specifically for you bitches. No! My white sage incense. That's fine. They didn't go too far. They are in my trolley, it's just, the dust. Ugh. I don't know about you, Kingdom Collector, but I really, really want to learn to read my own so they don't get so dusty all the time. Yeah, it's a goal of mine. Anyway, alright, so let's continue, shall we? And even though there is incense dust in my hair, doesn't matter because tonight is a wash night. Yay. Okay, let me just light it up. Guys, can you please stop? I need to light this up. Ai, shiteru kana? Ow. Ow. Did I not unlock it? I did. I swear. Oh. Oh, I never thought of doing that. Can I do that? Oh. Oh my god. Oh. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. And with that, okay. Okay. Come on, flame. Come on, fire. Please. Just a little flicker. Oh, thank you so much. Please come back. Please come back. Please. Oh, thank you so much. You're so sweet, fire. Thank you. Thank you. It wasn't burnt all the way. Can you come back, please? Thank you. Wait, will that help? Does it seem to help you? Please, flame, please come back. Please. Please come back, Flame, please. Please come back, please. I know you're tired. I'm tired too. I can feel my fingers. Shit. Please come back, Flame. Please. Ow. Please come back, Flame, please. Oh, thank you so much. You're the best fire. You're so sweet. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, you're the best. Thank you. I know it was hard to get it out. Them karmics fucking suck. I know. I know. But thank you for persevering. Thank you, Fire. Thank you. Oh, white stage. Yes. All right. Heavenly Golden Council. Council. Whoa. Lapsus, but appropriate. Heavenly Guided. Heavenly Golden Council, please cancel any op related corrupt opt officials and karmics and spiritual karmists alike energy trying to block this filming and or researching if needed. May your word prevail and may theirs fucking fail. Amen. Ashe. Ashe. If you didn't know, Ashe means as it is said, so shall it be. ASHE. And Ashway, I created that shit. As it is written, so shall it be. ASHWE. But I think I'm gonna add an H just because Yahweh, you know, Ashway. I think there's an H there. I'm gonna add an H. Something about white sage. Oof. I wish I had Palo Santo, but I have it on my fingers. I guess I'd use anyway. Thank you so much, Fire. I appreciate your effort more than you know. Thank you. So now I'm just going to set it here. Step embering. See the foot? And I'm just going to set it up here in my little incense holder. I really love it because it keeps it in place and it keeps the smoke in. Look at this. How freaking cute is this? Oh, I love you, incense holder. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Mm. Pardon my quasi French accent. Sometimes I do accent, just bear with it. Okay, so let's continue. My hair and story time. So, God is fed up. The Golden Heavenly Council is fed up. The Kingdom Collective is fed up. And contre toute attente, you would think they wouldn't be, but the governments are fed up too. I can't do much for you, I think. I'm not sure. But I can do something for me. Right now, I am in my season of purging. I've been up and down lately. One minute I'm laughing, the next I'm crying because I'm purging a lot of shit. 37 years to be exact. Yeah, because I'm 37. They are dealing with the governments, you know? They are dealing with clearing up this shit that lasts for eons, eons, lifetimes and lifetimes. And I almost, you said go well. Yes, okay. And I almost lost my life to the very thing that they are not trying to, endeavoring to stop because it's fucking over. Which is why it's going to take time, a lot of time. I am a storyteller that has always been a talent of mine. I am also a seer of God, which by default means yes, I am a light card reader. I am a prophetess of God. I have prophetic dreams, prophetic insights, prophetic visions. I also am clairaudient. I hear them like Bluetooth, but we have conversations. It's not just words and or sentences or paragraphs. All of it. We talk all the time, all the time. Oh, and okay, let's continue. What else am I? I'm also clairsentient. I am a feeler. That's what I call us. I am a feeler, aka an empath. And without even knowing you, without even hearing your voice or having talked to you, if I speak to someone who tells me about you, I'm gonna know about you. And by who tells me about you, that person, I don't mean gossip because I don't do gossip. Karmics love gossip. I fucking don't. Kingdom Collective fucking don't. And I know the government doesn't. And I know the Golden Heavenly Council doesn't either. Oh, hi. Oh, another bee. I'm doing the shit. Let's continue. Okay. Um, instead, um, what can happen, and it has happened, when was that, Lord? Do you remember? Of course you remember. I don't. It was in 2021? Oh, it was! Wow. That's 3 years ago, G. Dang, okay. So, 2 years ago, I was talking to a friend of mine. I'm not gonna say her name. She's not a karmic. She's actually, I think she's not clairsentient, but I think she might be claircognizant. I think she might be claircognizant. I do know she has sometimes prophetic dreams, so she's probably also clairvoyant. Anyway, so I was talking to her. I'm gonna use her initials. It's a her, yeah. I said her, right? I was talking to her, my friend. Her initials, SM. I was talking to SM. She had just met a guy, and she was puzzled as to like why he was acting a certain way. And I was just like asking her questions about, like not what happened because it's none of my business. I am a Christian relationship counselor. Turns out I'm also a prophetic insight counselor. I'm a light card reader counselor. I'm a counselor, period. Like, I'm a counselor. That's all. I'm a counselor. So I'm a golden counselor. Okay, so I'm a golden counselor, so I ask her questions like a counselor would. I don't ask her for details. I just ask her for like the gist. And mostly, like, what did she do? I don't really need to know his part. I just need to know what she did. And if she's not comfortable with some things, then she doesn't need to tell me. Oh yeah, FYI, I don't have a degree for that yet. Okay, yet another plan. Another dream, another thing to be accomplished. Okay, so I ask her about her. She tells me her part. And then I'm like, okay, just give me like the broad lines of your last date. Don't give me the details. Just tell me, like, when did he arrive? When did you arrive? Where did you go? How did you interact? How many silences were there? Blah, blah, all that. She gives me the answers. And I'm like, oh, I see. And she's like, what do you mean? What do you see? And I tell her pointedly, um, you were a bit too aggressive in showing your interest to him. And she's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, then I ask her like 1, 2, 3 questions. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 questions. And she answers me, and I'm like, yeah, that's why. She's like, I still don't understand. And so I explained to her that basically what happened is the guy was into her. He liked her. He was interested in her. In fact, he felt a connection with her. It wasn't just an interest. He wasn't just like turned on. He loved spending time with her, and he would spend his time with her like all the time, like all the time. And he went out of his way to get to spend time with her. Okay, but she was like afraid of seeming too needy, so she tried to, like, seem aloof, or like, I mean, I am into you, but if you weren't here, I'd be okay too. you know um and so she's like, but I mean, okay, but isn't that like hard to get? Like, why did you say like that is being too aggressive? And I said, okay, because in the eyes of a man, don't ask me, I'll know this, clear cognizance. In the eyes of a man, when he is like all in and he shows interest in you and he's really into you, and it's not someone that you'd be like, I mean, it's okay. No, it's someone that you're like, hop, hop, oh my gosh, yes, like your dream boat, basically. And your dream boat is after you, but you're like, I don't want to seem too shoddy, which in French Creole basically means I don't want to seem too like boy crazy or like obsessed or blah blah blah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna act like um I'm the prize, which the woman is the prize, but that doesn't mean that the man isn't one too. A different kind, but still the prize. You get me? So the woman says to herself, I'm gonna act like I'm the prize and I'm the only prize. And if he wants that prize, then he's gonna have to work at digging me out. But the thing is, you're already digged out. You're in front of him. So the man sees this and he thinks, oh, she's not interested. Okay. But then, um, as soon as he retreats, as soon as he retreats away from her, that is when she's like, oh no, but I mean, I thought he understood that I'm really, really into him. Oh my gosh, I guess he misunderstood me. Okay, okay, well then let me show him. And then you go in and overkill. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm really into you, and like I didn't get that you're really into me, and oh my gosh, can we date more? And oh my gosh, like I see us like in 5 years, and the guy's like, whoa, chill, shit. I like your company, girl. Like, yeah, I mean, and I could see something going there. Like, yeah, I did consider that, but you're kind of shady. Like 1 minute, you're like, I mean, you're good, you're cool and all that, but I mean, I've seen better. And then as soon as I turn around, like, hello, like, don't leave me, I love you. It's like, shit, that's too much, too little, and then too much. And to them, that just spells, she's just too aggressive. She's too aggressive. I can't deal with that because what he sees is the extremes. He doesn't see like, oh, 1 minute you're like almost not showing anything and then showing too much. He just sees that you are at the extremes. That means he's always going to walk on eggshells around you. He's never gonna know like how to act around you, like, or what to expect from you, or how to read you, and your reactions. Like, are you really into him? Do you even fucking like him? Do you want him in your life? Like, what are you are you wasting his time? Are you making it out for a fool? Was this a bet? Like, countless ideas. And then he's just like, you know what, it's just not worth it, and then he just leaves. I told her that. And she was like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what happened. And she hadn't told me what I just told you happened. I just said, that's what I felt from him. I never heard his voice. I never talked to him. I never even saw him, didn't see his body language, nothing. I didn't even see a picture of him either until she showed it to me after I said all that. And all I did was hear his point of view from her, and I knew, yeah, you were too aggressive. You were too aggressive. Okay, just nah, just nah. Men like certainty. They like certainty because honestly, men get what's the word? Oh, thank you. Rejected. Love you. Rejected. They get rejected every single fucking day, and they cannot just like waste their time getting interested into someone and then seeing them like, oh my gosh, I don't want to seem like I'm too boy crazy, so I'm gonna do the least and hope he chases me and like read your mind. He can't do that. And or quite honestly, picture himself always having to read you, to read your mind, to ask you questions to see where you stand together, like instead of actually knowing, because you actually show him that I want you around. You got some kind of amazing. It's a song from a show Dream I used to love. I need to look it up. Anyway, a British-ish or Australian kind of high school musical type show, but it's not High School Musical. Anyway, check it out. It's amazing. It's great. Anyway, it's like Glee but on steroids because it's not seasons. It's like season. It's just like maybe 10 to 20 episodes. Okay, maybe there are 2 seasons, but there's like 40 episodes at the most. Glee is like 7 seasons. Like, whoa. Okay, so yeah. Dream is like Glee on steroids. Anyway, so they're not gonna they're not just gonna waste their time in trying to figure out where you fucking stand with them. They're gonna move it along. they're gonna move it along and find someone who can actually show them that they matter to them. Uh, Someone else, another person who can show that man matters to them, and it's not something that they'll have to pull out of them. It's just easier. And sure enough, then she told me the second part of it, and basically she reached out to him. Well, okay, I actually told her, maybe, do you know if he moved on? Because I kind of get the feeling that he might want to move on. She's like, no, he hasn't, not yet. I'm like, did you reach out to him? She's like, oh, I can't do that. I'm like, girl, that's what started the problem in the first place. You didn't show enough. You didn't show. You barely showed anything. And then when he pulled away, you showed way too much. Now the ball is in your court, not his. He did the most. Like, he did his part. You, sorry, I have to say this, girl. I love you to bits, but you didn't do jack shit. So you need to fix it. If you really feel that this connection is genuine, and you really want to see if it could still be something, then you need to reach out. And she's like, and do what? I'm like, well, as corny as it sounds, you need to propose a coffee date or something, and then work on getting closure. It's like, closure? How do you do that? It's like, well, at the coffee date, you you be honest with him about what happened, what was going through your mind, blah blah blah. That is, if he's not with somebody else. If he already is, then you best step away, because he clearly found someone else who can clearly show him that he matters to them. But if you tell me that he's still not with someone, then the worst you have to lose is that he says, I was interested, but I'm not anymore. And I mean, I do like you and stuff, and I do feel that connection, but this kind of dynamic is really not what I'm looking for, something like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But at the same time, you get to grow, and the next connection that you feel, you get to do better. When you know better, you do better. There's no use in you sitting here and just letting time pass and wonder woulda, coulda, shoulda, when you really coulda, woulda, shoulda reached out to him already. She was like, but then what if he doesn't answer me? What if he ignores me? I'm like, well, that's a risk you have to be willing to take. If he really means as much to you as I feel from you, from what you told me, then doesn't that mean that he's worth the risk? The worst that can happen is that he says no, and then you leave on good terms. And then he has a better memory of you. And who knows if, maybe a few weeks or months or even years down the line, you don't meet up out of the blue. And, now you're both a little more mature, because honestly, you weren't mature in your approach, but he wasn't mature in his resolve either. He should have asked you, like, what the fuck is that about, like, that's what a king does. He was acting more like a prince, and a prince is nice, but you don't need a prince. And she's like, why is that? Because princes are all about building, building, building. You need someone who's established. If you're with a prince, all he's gonna do is build, 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 and he will have no time for you. And she's like, oh no, I don't like that. I'm like, exactly, you need a king. A king is established. I mean, the best you could do, honestly, is obviously an emperor, but they're few and far between. Okay, they're few and far between. So you need yourself a king. Already, from the way this ended, You were dealing with a prince, not a king. You need to find yourself a king. She's like, okay, well, I mean, I think he could be my king. And I'm like, I can see that the potential is there for him to be a king. But you'll never know unless she's like, reach out. I know. Okay, okay, I'll do it. And so then I basically became her personal monitoring spirit, but for her good, not for her bad. And like for the next week, I was like, so did you do it? She's like, not yet. Like it wasn't the right timing. I'm like, well, okay. Well, there's always later. She's like, no, I don't feel like it. Not today. I'm like, well, there's always tomorrow. And it was like that for the entire week. At the end of the week, I'm like, you know what? Okay, I'm done. I'm not gonna ask you all the time. You're old enough to make your own choices. You're an adult. Okay, you're smart. You're clever. You're a freaking genius in business, girl. You can do this. Okay, you can do this. I believe in you, and I know you believe in you too. You just believe that you'll get rejected. Well, then believe that you won't, and everything will go Gucci. She was like, Gucci, what's that? And I was like, Gucci, perfect. Under the sun. She's like, oh, that's good. I'm like, right? Anyway, so I so after that 1 week, I said, I'm not gonna bother you anymore. Just let me know when you have done it. I didn't say if, when you have done it. She's like, okay, but I mean, what if he doesn't answer? And I'm like, well, then he doesn't answer. Mais au moins tu seras fixé. At least you will know because you will have done the effort. You will have put on the effort to actually show him what it truly means for you, to you. Okay. She was like, okay, all right. And also I said, and don't think that you can call me every day and say, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do this. I already told you you can do this. Okay. I'm not your coach, I'm your friend, and honestly, at this point, you should pay me. So you're gonna do this shit because you need to do this shit because you told me you need to do this shit. Believe in yourself, I believe in you, and God believes in you too, okay? And who knows if that's exactly what He's waiting for you to reach out. Anyway, so the next week she did, and then she contacted me. She's like, I did it. I'm like, oh, that's great. And don't you feel better? He's like, you didn't respond yet. I'm like, no, don't you feel better that you did it? Like, it's done. Don't you understand? Now the ball is in his court. Ping pong, ping pong. You don't have to worry anymore. Either he responds or not, but it's not of no fault of your own this time. And then you'll know for sure if he has the true potential to be a king or if he really was a prince and you don't need a prince, do you? She's like, nah, I don't need a prince. I mean, I'd like to build with someone I love, but I don't want to just be building. Like, what about dates? What about romanticism? What about Valentine's Day? I'm like, ugh. She's like, what? I hate Valentine's Day. She's like, why? And then I told her my theory. I'm not going to tell you now, but um, and I'm like, exactly. And I know that about you, okay? And I heard and I felt your frustration when you told me during the day that he was like on his phone because of notifications. She was like, oh, that is true. I did tell you that. And I was like, yeah. So that means you want his undivided attention. You will never get a prince's undivided attention. They're all about building, 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 building. And when it's built, then they become a king and then establish. Once it's established, then you're their whole focus, their whole world. But before that, they need to build. And either you are okay with building with him or you're not. And you need a king. She's like, yeah, I need a king. Maybe not even an emperor. I'm like, nah. She's like, why not? I'm not good enough for an emperor. I'm like, oh, girl. Emperors are the epitome, okay? You think king is... Oh my gosh. You think king is good? Emperor is fucking delicious, yo. But emperor is its own animal. There is a similarity between knights and princes and kings, but emperor, is a fucking alien. It's something completely different. Something completely different. If you're not even used to a king, don't try it with an emperor. Because honestly, he won't even try it with you. He won't even consider you. She's like, why? Because although a king needs a queen needs a king, you know, they can be with knights also and princes, but they need a king, a queen to be equal. But an emperor deserves an empress, and an empress deserves an emperor. It's a completely different category because it's not the same mindset. It's not building, it's not establishing, it's combining, expanding, dominating. It's dominance. It's taking one emperor with his empire and one empress with her empire, their both empires, and melding them together and creating a dominion. And a dominion is not to be trifled with. Nah, girl, you're not. Sorry, but no, you're not emperor material. You could be. You definitely could be, but that depends on you. Because the work ethic of an empress is not like a queen. You can just say, oh my gosh, I'm an empress, and be an empress. You actually have to be an empress before you become an empress. It's a whole thing. You can be a queen without even being a queen. Honestly, being a queen is fucking easy. Being an empress is fucking work. It's both active and passive work. And when you've been an active empress like me your entire life, being a passive empress is the fucking worst. But I have to learn, right? I have to learn. Okay. So anyway, so I told her that. So where was I going with this? 1 minute. It's gonna come to me. I hope. um. Oh, thank God. I thought that was a bird caught into a kite, but it's just a kite. Oof. Okay. Um. What was I saying, Lord? SM, the Free Council. Oh yeah. Okay. Let's go with that. Let's go with that avenue. Okay. So that's just an example of one of the many things that I do without a degree. Just because I was born with this shit. I was born with these gifts, okay? But like if I had the tools at the time and if I knew at the time in 2021, I've known about the two sides of the holy golden kingdom of God only since this year. Yep. Only not even January. Since when, Lord? March? Since March. I've known since March. I mean, I was there before, like from the end of, no, from 2019 to August 2020. And when I came out or was dragged out of there by the Golden Heavens Council, um, I thought I left it for good. But this year the Lord said, yeah, we're gonna need you to go back. And I guess why? I know why. Because I'm actually one of the few who is in the middle. Stephanie P. Smith is also in the middle. She is a seer, she is a prophetess of God, and she used to do tarot card readings. That means she's a light card reader. That means she's claircognizant and clairsentient and Claire, you know, basically she has basically almost all the gifts. Okay, and many of the ones who ended up in the enlightened camp of God first were in the camp of the concerned ones of God, New Age reality. They were shunned by the church because they realized they have these gifts and those are not depicted in the Bible. So maybe that means they're possessed, maybe that means they're demonic, blah, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah. They leave church because, I mean, they're not accepted. And then God says, I got a place made just for you. Come here, come with me. And they end up there and they do it. Okay? But just because you have the gift doesn't mean you are called to it. Usually, sometimes when you end up in one camp, when you are led to one camp, but in the end you end up in the other, it's because you were called to the other, but in order to operate in the other camp, you first had to awaken gifts from that camp. And the reason is simple. It's not because, let's take Stephanie P. Smith for an example. I can't take me because I'm in both. I'm literally always in the motherfucking middle. I do both light card readings and I do prophetic words. I do fucking both. Go fucking figure, okay? I'm in the middle all the fucking time. My entire life is in the fucking middle. But she's not. She's not. She has gifts that are in the middle. But her calling is in one camp, not the other. So, taking her, for example, she was led to New Age reality before because she needed to get used to ministry, first of all. Second of all, she needed to awaken those gifts and not feel, what's the word? Embarrassed for having them or guilty for having them. Because they're godly, they are of God. But then she was led again by God to the other side because her soul tribe is actually on the other side. Not because she didn't have a soul tribe in New Age reality, but because she is called to reach more people on one camp than the other. She needs both gifts to do that job, but she is called to operate in one camp, not both. Someone else, I can take an example with somebody else. Somebody else. Let's see. Well, no. Because, I mean, Stephanie P. Smith, she started New Age reality and ended up in the enlightened kingdom of God. I'm trying to think of someone who started in the enlightened kingdom of God and ended up in New Age reality. And aside from me, I can't picture anyone. Let me think. Oh, that's interesting. I have two examples. The spiritual body and mindset elevator. It took me a while to get it, but because there was no like tarot in the title or whatever, or oracle or whatever, it didn't click to me that they are actually in the other camp. They're in New Age reality, not the enlightened camp of God. And this is how I found out. So the mindset elevator, she's dope. She's always talking about like how people react to you because of what God put in you. And because she said God, 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 I thought, well, there's nothing terrible about this, so she doesn't belong in the other camp. But she does, though. She does. Because there's this thing, this distinct, ooh, distinguished. There's this distinguished signature in the camp of the concerned ones of God, New Age reality, that tells everybody, even though there's no word tarot or oracle in your channel title, if they see that one word in your channel title, yeah, they know you belong in the other camp. You belong in the other camp, unfortunately, because I mean that word applies to both, but it's equated more to one than the other. Just like prophetic words is equated to one more than the other. What is that word? Spiritual. There's a reason why I chose the spiritual body for the second example. Mindset Elevator doesn't tell you spiritual. There's nothing spiritual in the title. But as you get to know her, watch her, listen to her messages and all that, you realize that she uses a term also that is mostly seen or heard of in the New Age reality camp, not the enlightened camp of God. And that word is, well, combination of word, chosen ones. Chosen ones are usually equated to the New Age reality camp, not the enlightened camp of God. Okay? So, she always speaks about, you know, the dichotomy of a chosen child of God and the karmics who are always after you, blah, blah, blah. And why you should never back down and you should never change because they're actually after you because you're not like them. So you have to remain like them, but you also have to ensure that you don't turn up like them, that you don't get influenced by them, that you don't get down to their motherfucking low level. And that is spiritual talk. It's not enlightened kingdom of God talk. It's New Age reality talk. Okay? And then there's the spiritual body, because at the time I was only in the enlightened camp of God. I didn't know that it was one and the same, just two sides of the same coin. I thought also erroneously, tarot cards are around the devil. But then I'm like, but I mean, I don't know. Because I remember when I used to do tarot cards, but I didn't do them. Like, I didn't, it wasn't my job. I was just doing it for me. I wanted to know, like, do I even have this gift? And why do I feel called to this? And why do I feel this is comfortable? And I have never done this before. And then I got my first card, my first deck, and I'm like, oh, this is actually easy. What? And then every single thing that I pull out, I'm like, oh, that's what this means. That's what this means. And then when I look in the booklet, the guidebook, oh my gosh, that is what this means. And this, what is going on here? So I was like, okay, well, this is weird. This is really weird. But as I did my own tarot card readings, um, I realized that it's a harder calling because you have to think a lot. The prophetic insights of, like I said, you know, a few seconds to 1.5 to 2 minutes at the most. And all different and one next to each other, and there's like no lapse, no pause in between. And you have to put the puzzle together. You have to go to the heavenly council, the golden heavenly council, and ask them, what the fuck does that mean? Please help me. Okay, and then you have to put it together, but you have to make sure that you understand the messages correctly, so you think before you speak. Sometimes you have to write it down before you even come out with the whole entire sentence. That takes practice, that takes work, that takes time, that takes diligence, that takes minutia. That takes goat energy. Goat. Okay, so goat in the 3D world. GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym that means greatest of all times. Yes, and the Lord agrees. But in regards to the in regards to the dang New Age cutting my circulation. In regards to New Age reality camp, the thing is, they are the ones that the Lord calls his goats. Why? Because they have never waned from their position, and they were shunned and ridiculed, and they were called demons and demonic and satanists and Satan worshippers because of the things they did. But meanwhile, they knew because they have a real relationship with God, a true one. And because of that, they knew that what they were doing was the right thing. So no matter what people would tell them, they would still stand 10 motherfucking toes down and fucking do that shit. And that is why God calls them goats, the greatest of all time, but he has another acronym, which is GOATS with an S. The golden ones are the shit. The golden ones are the shit. The golden ones. That also includes the other camp. But the thing is, in the enlightened camp of God, there's a lot of waning. There's a lot of, oh, but did I really hear that? Oh, maybe that's not it. Oh, did you really say that, God? Oh, I don't know. The reason why is because I think, and that has to do, which is ironic actually, because of the oracle and the tarot cards, all of that. Okay. It's a tool. Oh, yeah, and there's also, the chakras and astrology and all that. Those are actual tools, palpable tools. They are seers. So they can see it and they can feel it, they can hold it, they can use it. So it's more a physical type of prophesying. Because of that, it's like the proof is in the pudding, and the pudding is just in front of you. So during a like card reading, tarot card reading, oracle reading, whatever, it's all the same thing. The message is literally in front of you in the cards. You can't doubt that shit. It's right in front of you. But with the prophetic word side of prophesying, it's most oftentimes clear audience who have that gift. Because of that, it's the voice of God that they hear. And just like that motherfucking counterfeits fucking everything. And makes you believe that something good is bad and something bad is good. He also mimics the voice of the Lord to you. So if you do not have an actual relationship with God, if you do not recognize his voice, that punk ass can fool you like that. Like, like that. Ugh. Anyway, it's like, it's Britney, bitch, whatever. So, because of that, on the side of the enlightened camp of God, there is a lot more doubt, a lot less certainty. For this reason, the Lord calls the golden ones are the shit, but most of them are the New Age reality ones. Okay? And he wants to join the two camps together and make them realize that they are one and the same, just two sides of the same coin, and each side has something to learn from the other. Just like Stephanie P. Smith learned in New Age reality and then transferred into the enlightened camp of God seamlessly. And there was no condemnation, and there was no warnings or like threats. Oh my gosh, you're satanic, you have to stop doing that, go back to the side of God. No, just it's time for you to change camps. Although we didn't know there were two camps of the same kingdom, but it basically said like you're on the wrong path. The wrong path doesn't mean you're in the wrong place, it just means you're on the wrong path, to the wrong side. She was on the path that leads to things that honestly most people don't want to even know about. Right now, she already knows a lot, but if she had stayed there, she would have known a lot more. A lot more. And that is also the danger. This gift, being a light card reader, being a seer, that kind of seer, is very demanding, and the responsibility of it is tremendous. I did note before, Evangelist Sarah, and again, the Lord commends you. And I did say, you have a big mantle on your shoulders, you have a big responsibility. Keep on what you're doing. He's proud of you. But honestly, I'll be honest with you and everyone in the enlightened camp of God. If you don't know, you don't know. And if you don't have the gift of being a light card reader, a seer, then you don't know. But the gift of prophesying through cards is much more demanding than the gift of prophesying through prophetic words. There is less doubt in one camp than the other, but there is less corruption in one camp than the other as well. Why is that, you ask? Okay. Um, well, the thing is, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So if you are a reader, a light card reader, you are a seer, and on top of that, you are clairaudient, you're claircognizant, you're clairsentient, and you're clairvoyant. On top of that, you have your clairdubience, taste buds. You're clairdubiant, and you're what is that again? Touch, touchant, no, holdient, handient. Let's go malleant. Okay, and you're clairmalleant. Guess what's gonna happen? Fucking ego is gonna grow like this. It doesn't even fit in the screen. See what I mean? And you're gonna start thinking, oh my gosh, I'm a god. And then you're corrupted. And it's harder to come back from than what eventually Sarah did. Because when you are deep in your ego like this, but you're mostly a seer, what you will be shown mostly is images. You're not really going to hear. So if the Lord is showing you things that are telling you you're on the wrong path, stop, come on back, child, come with me, please, please come with me. Not again. Can't do this again. Please, no. Please, child, come with me. You're gonna see the images and you're gonna think, oh, they're messages, and then you're gonna post them as is. You're not gonna go back to the golden heavenly council because you think you are the golden heavenly council now. Whereas someone like Evangelist Sarah, it's easier to come back from that because you're here. And the Lord is like, Sarah, Sarah, money, 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 Sarah! Like, oh, yes. And then he talks to you, and then you hear. But if you're only a seer and you only are a seer by being a light card reader, it's very tricky. It's tricky, tricky, tricky. You have no idea how sticky it gets. Okay? So at the time, I experienced it. Because when I first was in New Age reality, I actually thought I was a witch. I actually thought I was a witch. Oh, yeah, witch. Let's get to that too. Witchery is of God. And you're going to be like, blasphemy! What are you saying? Witchery is of God. I did not say warlockery. Warlockery is when you take your gifts and pose yourself as a witch and you attack people. Those are spiritual ca- spiritual karmacists. That's what they are. Warlocks, whether a woman or a man. Warlocks. When you use your powers, your spiritual gifts against people, not because they're attacking you, but just because you want to take what is theirs for yours, you're a fucking spiritual karmicist. By default, that makes you a warlock. A witch who has the gifts of witchery, witchcraft, which is the craft of witchery, the crafts of witches that uses their gifts to attack people, to take for themselves what is not theirs, they automatically turn into a warlock. Witches are on the light side, warlocks on the dark. They're the counterfeit of witches. Witches are not demonic. Because what are witches actually? They're not over a cauldron making a potion with pointy hats and all that, and bubble, bubble, toil and trouble. No, that's not what they do. Witches are actually herbalists. They're naturalists. They derive from Gaia, from the earth, from nature itself. Ointments, tonics, what you would call potion, which would actually be remedies, natural remedies. That's what witches do. Witches also can do binding spells to protect you from an enemy. They can do rituals for you to help you to detach from someone who is karmic or negative in your life that won't fucking let you leave. It's raining. Well, I do love rain. I could feel it coming. I didn't say it, but I could feel it coming, and now it's starting. Tiny, tiny, tiny. Anyway, they can do these things, okay? They can also do manifestation rituals. Like candle magic are just rituals either for protection or for guidance. This is how witches, okay, receive the guidance of God. That's their craft. They do rituals, just like card readers use the cards and the oracles and the pendulums and all that. Astrology, chakras, all of that. Just like um, wait, we have the witches, we have the light card readers, and we have the, thank you, Lord, the mouthpieces. Those are the prophets, prophetesses on the enlightened camp of God side of the things, okay? Just like they use their craft to speak out what the Lord says. They are all the same thing, but they are done differently because we have different gifts. That's all it is. And so they can also help you with protection using crystals. Yes, crystals is a real thing. It's not demonic. Crystals were made by God, just like numbers were made by God. Money was not made by God, but money was used by God to bless his people. Nature was made by God. Crystals come from nature. Hello. Yes, okay, there is in the Bible this passage about that punk ass idiot who fell from heaven, and there's this passage about, you know, all the crystals and precious gems and stones that he had to his what? I don't remember the word. Ah, thank you. To his love you. To his advantage. Okay? But his ego, it's not even that it surpasses the screen, it surpasses this fucking planet. He fucking thinks he's God. And he brought a third of the angels down with him who were dumb enough to believe the shit he was saying. And thus, we have the fallen angels who made it ill with humans. Fallen angels, not real ones, not light ones, not godly ones, ungodly ones, made it with humans. And that created things like giants like the Nephilims or whatever, and also karmics and other things like that. And just, ew. Just, ew. Okay, so what else is there, Lord? I can't remember this part. Thank you. Yeah, so crystals. You said, oh, you had the topaz and the ruby and the quartz and the aquamarine and the diamond and the pearl and the blah blah blah, and you fell from heaven. But it's not because of these. Those are stones. Those are stones. In heaven, they literally walk on precious stones and gemstones and crystals. Okay? These are very precious here. They cost a fucking bundle here. They're just a means to an end in heaven. But he thought, oh, I have all these jewels. That means I can be God too. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Anyway, so that's what happened. That does not make this a problem. That does not make this a problem. Tattoos a problem. Chakras, astrology, tarot, what else? Or candles, please, or incense. Come on, nigga, please. Witches can even do a cord cutting ceremony for you to help you to separate not just from a karmic toxic person, but also a karmic toxic situation or even place. They cut basically energetically the links formed in the 5D spiritually by the fucking karmics who go to the spiritual karmacists who are um, infected spiritualists who became karmics by default and who use their God given spiritual gift to attack people. Why? For money. They get a share. And they get a share. That reminds me of Oprah for some reason. I don't know why. But look, it sucks. It's demonic and it's not godly. Every single one of them, the mouthpieces, the witches, the light card readers, the astrologers, the Reiki is godly. The Reiki is what the witches use in cord cutting ceremonies. All of these things. Oh, and of course, like I told you, since the Hindu lowercase g's, the delegates are not God. They're just delegates. Yeah, and the chakras are fine. Yoga is too. Yoga means to unite, by the way. It's not fucking demonic. And it's not a religion. It's a spiritual practice to unite you from the earthly plane to the spiritual plane. It connects your body, your mind, and your soul to the fucking heavens. That is what yoga does. And every single position in the yoga spiritual practice gives you the procession of earthly life. You have positions like the child pose. You have the snake, which doesn't mean the snake as in that punk ass idiot. He overtook a snake to confuse Adam and Eve, the first humans. Okay? He wasn't a god, he was still a fallen fucking angel. Not even an angel, just a fucking counterfeiter. And he wanted, the more the merrier. If I can't have my divinity anymore, then no one fucking should, and no one should be of God, and God sucks, and I want everyone to think that God sucks too. That's what that podcast does. That's who that podcast is. Anyway, so shit, what was I saying? Yeah. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. But the snake is actually a spiritual symbol of change, of shedding an old skin, making setting place for a new one. It's like transitioning from one place or one situation to another in your life, one event to another, something. It's like seasons, single season to marriage season, or student season to graduate season, or married season to divorce season, or married season to parenthood season. Like it's that's all it is. And there are other poses like the pose of the dog, which just means loyalty, because dogs are loyal. Okay, which is why saying that all men are dogs, that's karmic shit. That's That's karmic shit dictionary, okay? That's karmic shit syllabus. That's what that is. No. Men are actually very loyal and faithful. But when infected by fucking karmics, they become karmics themselves and then they act like fucking karmics. That's all that is. But inherently, men are not dogs and they're not jerks and they're not cheaters. They're actually loyal and they are monogamous. Like they actually want to be with just one person. Like whatever. Anyway, so and then there are other poses like I think the last one is the warrior pose, which is like the child pose. You're on four legs, like you're a baby and you're crawling basically. And then you have the warrior pause when you are on both legs, you're standing up and you are connecting the earthly plane like this. Okay, sorry. So yeah, like this. So you're connecting yourself to the earthly plane like this, and then you stay connected to the earthly plane and you connect yourself also to the divine. You unite yourself to both. That's all yoga is. No, it's not a religion. It's not a religion. It's a spiritual practice. That's all it is. It's not exercise. It's not a, oh my gosh, Steffi, let's go get a coffee and do yoga. Oh my gosh, yes, and then we can gossip about what Jason did. Oh my gosh, I can't believe what he did. That's not what yoga is for. It's actually to ground you on this earth and connect you to the divine. That's it. Ugh, anyway. Oh, I'm so fed up with these lies. And you should be too. Shit. Anyway, so all right. So that's it for yoga. Blah blah blah. So all the shit, makeup, jewelry, tattoos, astrology. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. Thank you, Lord. Astrology, tarot cards, oracle cards, pendulums, chakras, um, which witchcraft potions, which are just tonics or natural medicine or ointments or remedies or blah blah blah, and moon ceremonies, which you can manifest what you want in your we'll get to that at some other point. You're not ready for that talk yet. No. So all of those things, including money, are just mediums to connect with God, to do God's work in this earthly world. You need fucking money to survive, which fucking sucks. But that's where we are, and that's what we need. So that's what we use. Okay? But that doesn't mean that they're demonic. In the Bible, it says money is the root of all evil because the Lord wanted to see who the fuck is a karmic. Truly, deeply. They will see this and they'll be like, ah, money is the root of all evil? So that means the more money I have, the more power I have. The more money I have, the more I can take things from people. Yes! 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 That's what karmics do. But when you're really spiritual and you see this, money is the root of all evil, what you actually think to yourself is not, oh, money is evil. It's, that must mean what you do with your money is the root of all evil. If you have good intentions, then, I mean, what you do with your money is fine. If you don't, then it's not. It's as simple as that. So mediums, things, tools, nothing in this world that you can use to survive, to do God's work, you go about is demonic. What are the intentions? If you have demonic intentions, then what you're gonna do using the tool is gonna be fucking demonic. It's as simple as that. Okay. So, yeah, I think I'm done with the intentions and all that. So now I'm just gonna go into the gist, which is what I was supposed to do in the first place. It's time. Yeah, it's time. Let me tell you about my motherfucking story. Like I told you before, I'm 37 years old. Okay? And like I told you also, this thing, this infection that the Golden Heavenly Council and the earthly courts council, let's call them that, the earthly governments are trying to, not trying, but are working actively to eradicate. I've been prevalent for lifetimes and lifetimes, like I told you. Hypothetically, let's say 9 up to now, but now is the 10th and it's fucking done now. It's the end. It's the end. This time, anyone on Judgment Day who decides to fucking stay karmic, they can they can they can carry their motherfucking karmic asses all the way to hell. Like, fuck you, bitch, and good fucking riddance. And Jesus says himself, forgive them, Lord, for they know not what they do. But also fuck him. Like, that was him. That was him. That was him. He told me that last month. And I was laughing so hard. I'm like, oh my gosh, Sparkles, you're funny. And he's like, don't, he just said it now. Don't call me Sparkles. I'm like, but I like it. You know me. I give nicknames to everything and everyone that I like. And I like you a lot. So I call you Sparkles. He's like, why Sparkles though? And I'm like, because you shine like the sun. Because you are the sun. You're the only one. Sparkles. You're sparkling. It's like, ugh. If you heard them, every single one of them has their own personality. It's super cute. Anyway, so okay. So here we go. This eradication has been set and trapped by the Golden Heavenly Council since the last lifetime by hiding his true children in plain sight. So, just because you go to church does not mean you are a true child of God. In fact, if you are one of those motherfucking fake ass churches, we'll get to that at some point, okay? One of those motherfucking fake ass churches or faith, let's go with that think that you are the light of the world, the remnant is only in your church, like your denomination, and all the other ones belong in hell, guess what? You're fucking karmic! And there is nothing godly in you. Nor you, nor your congregation, nor your federation. Fuck all of you. Except. Just like I said in the first video. Like I realized about the government. Although I knew, but I just didn't come right out with saying it. Just because there are a few or many rotten apples in the basket doesn't mean the whole content is rotten. So guess what? The one and only Church of God, comprised of both camps, is getting ready to assemble. And that means, ladies and gentlemen, that reminds me of light. Oh, I love light so much. girl, light. You are amazing. What other mentions? Moments with Mo. You rock. I already said. Spiritual savage. Spiritual gangster. You're dope too. Um, Lunar Moon Tarot, I think. Kelly. I love you. Who else? Oh my gosh. Through Lynn's eye, you are transcendental. Um, oh, the Bee Priestess. You are a life-changing addition to my life. Who else? Who else? Two more? Two more. There are so many more of you, and the Lord loves all of you. And oh right, one from the other camp, Leanne. I can remember you. What your name is, the name of your channel, but you always say, "Hi, I'm Leanne. I freaking love you, girl. You're so freaking cute." Oh, oh yeah, and Millie. I have to say Millie too. Millicent. The Kingdom of God matters, girl. Yes. And on the other camp, two more. Who else? There are so many. So, oh well, yes. Andy and your kitty Pixel, 13 Moon Tarot, you are amazing. I love you, girl. I love you. 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 One more. Two more. Yeah, because, yeah, these two are definitely honorable mentions. Spiritually yours, Tarot, you are absolutely amazing. Oh my gosh, and you are so keen. So on point, I'm gonna have something to say about everybody at some point. I'm gonna make a list, like, yeah, honorable mentions, yay. But for now, those are you guys. You're the immediate ones, and that I can think of from the top of my head, off the top of my head. And the other one, oh, they really love you, girl. What you do is shit. And I wasn't sure because it's between three of them. But the one they're talking about here is, ooh, yes, girl. That's not just an honorable mention from me, that's an honorable mention from them. The madame? Mm, mm, mm. You are indeed the madame, girl. Oh, God, you're fucking keen. Shit. Yes, okay. So let's continue. So those are my honorable mentions for now. For now. Oh my gosh, and there's so many of you, and I really want to mention all of you. I want to meet all of you. I'm going to meet all of you, and I'm going to mention all of you. I don't know how, but the Lord will make a way. Hey, okay. And I don't mean how I'm going to get from here to that place. The Lord will make a way. I mean when I get to that place, to my place, to our place, Kingdom Collective. And just with Kingdom Collective minded people. Knowing that Kingdom Collective minded people are also hiding in churches. It's the how I'm going to meet all of you. Because, hello, there's 7 billion people on this planet. Like, what, how? And, like, how I'm going to mention all of you. The Lord will fucking make it happen, okay? But for now, this is it. So, now let's continue. It's been eons and eons and eons that this thing that we're all working ardently together, hmm including the government. So lay off them. They're doing what they can. Okay, they're doing all they can. For the most part, either they have spiritual gifts, but they don't know how to tap into them, or they have spiritual gifts and they don't want to be shunned for using them, or they don't have spiritual gifts. But either way, that is why we have them pour, pour aider son prochain, pour aider yon lot, pour nous aider yon lot, pour nous aider, pour nous aider lot, yeah, pour nous aider lot in Creole, which means so we can help each other. So let's help each other, okay? So please stop blaming them. They're doing all they can. If you don't like the results, I can help them more. I don't know what to say to you. Okay. So all right. What is it? Yes. This thing has been plaguing our existence. The Most High, the Golden Heavenly Council as well for fucking eons, okay? But me specifically and primarily, you've guessed it, for 37 motherfucking years. Uh-huh. My whole lifetime thus far. But it's not also my lifetime because it's not my life. It's my non-life. I have been lied to my whole life. Let's start at the beginning because we're gonna go quick because I I got a life too, guys. Okay, boundaries. See, this is why I love you, Kelly, Luna Moon Tarot, because you are like me a lot. Sometimes you just pop off with like a baby voice or like an accent or like a song or something. Like I just love that about you because it's a lot like me. Oh, thank you, Lord. There is one honorable mention. Two, actually. Two honorable mention in the enlightened camp of God that I can say today that the Lord ardently tells me to. The first one is... Fuck, I forgot. I just forgot. Wait, let me see if I can remember. Yeah, it's them, but who else? In songs. Oh no! Oh, there's her too, but I wasn't thinking about her. Oh, so three mentions, but what's the first one? Kali, Kali, Kali. I'm trying to remember. I get impatient too, even though I can hear them. I get impatient. Um, let's see. Something to do with songs. Something to do with songs. Okay, no, then that's four honorable mentions. I cannot remember the first one I was going to mention, but here they are in order. Nadisha from Fuel Your Soul. They love what you do. Oh my gosh, they love your attention to detail. every lyric, and you decipher them. You read between the lyrics. They love that. Um, then we have um, I'm forgetting again. Okay, let me just mention them. Then we have the Christmases, or RRC, like I like to call them, but it actually should be RGC, Rising Ground Church. The Christmases. The Lord loves you immensely, and He supports wholeheartedly you building your church. But He also wants you to remember God does not live in church buildings, He lives in temple dwellings. So if you are still considering creating your church, do it, but don't forget the first one, the original, therefore the best, nature itself. All right. Um. I said, feel your soul, Nadisha. Yes. Okay. Caitlin Katz. She disappeared again. This is the second time. I love her, but she keeps disappearing and then taking your messages with her. I think maybe she's on TT, which is what I call TikTok. I'm not there yet. I'm supposed to be on TikTok. Whatever. So yes, Caitlin. He loves your diligence. I mean, you're not on YouTube anymore, so maybe you won't get this message. But he loves your diligence. He loves your attention to detail, and he loves your humility. He loves your transparency also with your story. And he loves how you stand 10 motherfucking toes for kingdom marriage, which is also. Uh, mm, mm. No, it's kingdom marriage. It's kingdom. It's all kingdom. I was gonna say twin flame union, but no, it's not the same thing. Not everyone has a twin flame, and we'll get to that at some point. We're not there yet. Come on, guys. No, let's focus. Okay. So I said Nadisha. I said Caitlin Katz, or otherwise known as Salt 144 and Servant of God. Those were her other channel names. Um, let's see. Oh, before I forget, on New Age Reality side, Jupiter's Sun. Oh, girl, I love you, and the Lord loves you too. Um, and He loves the fact that you are focusing on your country because you are called to minister to your country. You are, but He also wants you to remember not to self ostracize yourself. Before, you used to do it in English, which most everyone understands, and you would like, and also I would like, honestly, quite selfishly, would like for you to consider doing it again. So, but consider, not do it, because free will. So yeah, Jupiter Sun, keep at what you're doing, but just consider a few English ones, okay? Oh shit, no. I mentioned light. I cannot not mention her. Sophia, Luscious Solar Lucius. I can't remember your name. Sophia, Solar High Priestess, I think. Thank you, Lord. You are a godsend to me. You have awakened me to so much. You have helped me in the background, in the spirit. You have fought with me. You have elevated my thinking. You have opened. my consciousness, and you have delivered me from a lot of negative, faulty, and a lot of negative, faulty belief systems, or as I like to call them, NFBS. And I thank you so much. I love you, girl, so much. I love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. And keep doing what you do. Oh, please keep doing what you do. You are the best. Oh my gosh, you're the best. The fact that you two, you and Light, are the first ones I reached out to, in the spirit, of course, to help me, like, reach out to people and, like, to help me learn. And you did that shit. You did. You actually accepted the role. You did. And I'm just so grateful for you two. You will always be, well, you two and Stephanie. Just keep swimming. You three will always be my OG. There are more coming into my OG section of my collective, Kingdom Collective family, but you three are the first. You three are the fucking first. Although there is also White Rose Guidance and Aqua Moonlight, and you changed it to Venetian Light Tarot, and I fucking love your new name. And there was one that was called Victoria. And I can't find her anywhere, and I miss her. I really, really loved her. She was one of my OGs back then. And and there's also recently uh, one that has been like tremendously helpful. Tremendously helpful. I have no cut cards. Huan Yan, girl, you're dope. And who else? Cause there's so many. What's her name? It sounds like Moonlight Guidance Tarot, but it's not her. Something Flame Tarot? Reiki Tarot? Heiki Tarot? I can't remember. But oh, girl, I love her. I love you, girl. I can't remember your name now, but I will find it and I will write it down. A whole freaking list. Both camps. My Kingdom Collective. Um, but there is one. She has awoken me to so much. Yes, yes, Flip. I love you. I love you. Red Fairy Tarot. Red Fairy Tarot. You are a gem. You are a gem, a pearl. Diamonds a dozen. You are wow. You are wowza. Okay? You are wowza. And oh, Emperor Light Tarot. Tarot Closet. There's so many of you. Gosh, and I feel like I've known the other camp for 3 years now, so I'm just getting used to this side of myself, cause I'm both. I'm not either or. I'm both, and there's so many of you. Um. Uh. Gosh, just give me one more, Lord. Just give me one more. Dr. Mo, Dr. Mo, evolving butterfly. Oh gosh, I love you. And Futuristic Eye, and Ashley Evans, Empowered Divine Enlightenment. You guys are just chef's kiss. I can't go on. No, that's not true. Fiery Grace and Mr. Lightwork. I'm not gonna say your channels. Them karmics be fucking nosy, but you know who you are. You know who you are. And I just got your latest reading, Fiery Grace, which sucks. I mean, confirm it for me, please, if you can. Um, through my email. It's I I ordered Divine Feminine, the Pillar reading, and then I realized, oh, it's public, so I paid for a public reading. I should have gotten a personal one instead. But not right now. Whew, girl, even though it is your birthday and it is really discounted and I really appreciate it, your prices are a bit too steep for me. But I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Mr. Light Work, because wow, you are so freaking on point. Wow. Anyway, um, okay. So, but in the Enlightened Camp of God, I said Notisha, I said the Christmases, RRC or RGC. Um, I said, hmm, I can't remember anybody. Come on, I can remember. Come on, I can. Oh, yes. Christina Nina. I call you that. I call you Christina Nina. Christina Nina, both for Christ. You are amazing, boss. I love you to the moon and back. Um, who else? Oh yeah, I cannot say her without mentioning Dana Ray. Oh, Chica, you are the cat's meow. My gosh, you are. Whew. Wow. 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 Oh, Kendra Justine. Pretty Boss TV. You also started a New Age reality, but you were called for the Enlightened Camp of God. And I'm so glad you did because, wow. Oh my gosh. Ugh, okay. And finally, but not least, I mean, there are many others, but they will come later. But this one I really cannot forget because she is my personal discipler. The Lord told me in 2022 or the beginning of 2020, not the end of 2021, beginning of 2022, she is to be your personal discipler. She will teach you what you need to know. And I'm like, okay. And so I did. And the first message I heard from her, I felt she was speaking, you were speaking to my soul. And you haven't stopped since, girl. You haven't stopped since. You will recognize yourself before I name you, girl. You will recognize yourself before I name you, but I will name you. You said you were called to leaders, and not just any, very impactful leaders. I am one of them. You posted a message about the great harvest. Wow. You also posted a message about a bundle of gifts from God, three in particular, with the letter M. And you also posted that faithful prophetic dream. Do not move on. With my favorite emoji, an emoji that you don't use. And in that dream, you mentioned an app that I never use. That is kind of ghosting. You know what I mean. Drum roll, please. Wait, bonus honorable mentions first. Call Me Ruby and Heart of Ruby. To me, you're like sisters, and you give me also like two sides of the same message. I swear it happens almost all the time. Almost all the time. But this honorable mention, oh my gosh, you girl, you girl, you girl. Who did I say was transcendental? True Lynn's Eye from New Age Reality Camp. You girl, you are extra transcendental, okay? Oh my gosh, Kendria Shanae speaks. You changed my life. You still do. Oh my gosh, you're the fucking best. You're the fucking best. You're the fucking best. Ah! Okay. Anyway, back to me. Back to my fucking story. So, yeah. Yeah. So, this thing, I'm 37 years old. This thing that's been eradicating, that we are actively eradicating together, has lasted eons and eons. And everybody's fed up. Everybody. But for how many years approximately has the earthly government been trying to eradicate that shit? 37 years. There are no coincidences with God. How much do you want me to say? You told me to go off, I will go off. Advienne que pourra, merde. Okay. Alright. As you see me here sitting, I am one of the ones who was hidden in plain sight. But I was also planted as a motherfucking anti-op, so to speak. Although I had no idea. Just like all the other light workers and light healers and star seeds and chosen ones hidden in plain sight, members of the Golden Kingdom Collective, I was dormant. Okay, I was dormant, but not for fault of my own. I have no memory of it concretely, but I do get prophetic insights about this. As a young child, I used to be very active, spiritually speaking, as in my gifts were open and active from a very young age. I'd say maybe 2 or 2.5 years old. I was already singing. I'm a singer. I was already singing by then. All right. My story, though, doesn't start at 2. My story starts before I was even conceived. Before I was conceived, my biological father and my biological mother met. They didn't fall in love though. They fell more in lust. Maybe my mother did, but not my father. My father was in it strictly for the sex. And I know what you must be thinking. Oh, your mother was a prostitute? No. Your mother was a call girl? No. She was a mistress, but he paid her for her services, like legit. So you could call her basically exclusive call, a, an exclusive call girl. That's what she was. Not who she was, just what she was. And him, he was a non-committal warlock karmic motherfucker. I don't know what happened. Maybe he what's the word? Repented since then. But at the time that he was with my mother, he was a no good having warlock karmic motherfucker. No good having warlock ass karmic motherfucker. That's who he was. My mother, oh my gosh, wow. Wow, that grew. Oh, I cannot wait to straighten you. Maybe after 3 days. After 3 days. And we'll just continue. Um, so they met and they had their situationship and they had me. But he didn't want me. My mother was poor. Well, she wasn't poor. She was doing okay, but she wasn't well off. He, however, was rich, wealthy, more than well off. And so he said he didn't want me because he's non-committal. Non-committal. He didn't want commitment, didn't want to give commitment. I don't know if he was married and was a fucking cheater. I don't know, and I don't care. What I do care about is that he somehow convinced my mother, who, yes, she was okay, but she wasn't okay enough to have a baby by herself. That motherfucker somehow convinced her and again paid her for her services. She used to be an alcoholic, and we'll get to that. Okay? She used to be an alcoholic, which is basically how we had access to her. Because my mother was actually, is still now, like, she's with my ancestors. My mother was actually, is still actually a high priestess energy. Very, very much tapped in. So both of my parents were on either side of the spectrum. Continue? Continue. Okay. Both of my parents were on either side of the spectrum. She believed in God, but she got lost in the alcohol. Blame it on the alcohol or whatever. He did not believe in God. He believed in not God. He believed in nihilism or hedonism, something like that. Something about nothing matters, nothing exists except for me. Therefore, I'm gonna take everything for me and fuck everybody who wants something. And if it's theirs, it's mine too. Fuck it, I'll take everything. That kind of mentality. Okay. And so, oh, it's starting to rain a bit more. I do love rain, but we are filming. Second. And I still haven't started my reading yet. That's why I want to get this done. But I also don't want to rush it. It's important. Yeah, take my time. Okay. Mm, okay. So, so, he somehow convinced her to give me up. to someone that he trusted would take care of me. And he told her he would provide for me. And he was a man of his word. I mean, he was a non-committal cheater. Who knows if he was married or in an open relationship or open marriage? Who gives a fuck really? And he was, you know, oil of gas, karmic motherfucker. Okay, but he was also an emperor in reverse energy, but he was still an emperor. Therefore, he was also a word of his man, a man of his word. So when you said he would provide for me, he did. He also provided for her to give me up, and she did. She was still hung up, on the alcohol. So she gave me up to him, and he gave me up to the big fat black bitch. We're not there yet. Let's continue. I'm still not. I mean, I'm born, but I mean, I'm a baby by then. I'm a baby by then. He gave me up to the big fat rat bitch. I don't know how the fuck he knows her. He's connected to her, or whatever. But they're not my family. They're not my family energetically. They're not my family by blood. They're not my family, period. Okay? They're not. So, I was ended off to that bitch. And I say bitch because they show up as a woman. But honestly, it's a fucking man in there. It's a fucking man, okay? It's a fucking man. Like, if you understand the spiritual realm, you understand that everything and everyone is only energy. Energy, energy, energy. So you can be a woman, but be in your masculine energy, and you're gonna show up as a masculine energy because you are a masculine energy. Okay? But there are some karmics who have actually partnered with ungodly beings, ungodly fucking demons, basically fallen angels, and they have made a deal with them to be inhabited by them. Because contrary to popular beliefs, demons are not these things that you see on TV and oh my gosh, he has a split tongue and oh he has horns and hooves and no. Like I said, everything is energy, but everything is also spiritual. Demons are actually energy, but negative energy. So you can have the spirit of gossip, the spirit of jealousy, the spirit of envy, the spirit of debauchery, the spirit of murder, the spirit of rape, the spirit of incest, the spirit of stealing, the spirit of lying, the spirit of slandering, the spirit, all kinds of motherfucking ungodly, disgusting spirits. So that person, that thing, that bitch that he gave me to showed up as a woman, but it's a man. Partnered up with a masculine demon, and that's what lives in them now to this day. Continue. Obviously, not surprisingly, because he's a motherfucking warlock. That bitch is also a motherfucking warlock. But also happens to be a sexual deviant. But we'll get to that. A disgusting sexual deviant, but we'll get to that. Meanwhile, because he kept his word, because he kept his word, he did provide for me. So even though I was an unwanted baby because I wasn't rich and I was born from that punk ass father of mine and my exclusively on call mistress slash no exclusively on call mother slash mistress of him, and she didn't have his stature, his standing, or whatever. He didn't want me, but he provided for me. And so even though I wasn't wanted because of that, I was still provided because I was his responsibility. And he expected that big fat rat bitch to actually do take care of me, but that thing fucking didn't. First things first, I was a trust fund baby. He provided for me a plenty to make sure I wouldn't lack for nothing. First thing that bitch did, stole my fucking inheritance. I was still a child. Like, not even, I don't know how old, but like, hello, like, I'm what, 1, maybe 2? What the fuck am I supposed to say? Hey, that's supposed to be my money! Please, no. I was top 10, but not that top 10. I'm still a baby. First thing they did, they stole my fucking inheritance. Second thing they did, my mother sobered up and realized, she remembered, oh, she's actually a high priestess energy. She's very tapped in. And she's very believing in God. She sobered up all by herself. She didn't go to any institutions. She didn't ask for help. She just went cold turkey. She believed in God that it would help her, and it happened. And then she wasn't enlightened by God of the significance of my birth. And so she regretted it. She regretted her decision. She was blurred by the alcohol. And so she decided, I'm going to get my daughter back. This is the second thing that bitch did. The moment they heard that my mother wanted me back and my mother had the right, because she's my biological mother, you know what that bitch did? She killed my mother! That bitch killed my mother! I don't know how, and I don't give a fuck how. I just know what I know. Clear cognizance. And my third eye chakra and my crown chakra are no longer fucking blocked, bitch. I don't remember everything, but I remember enough. Stole my inheritance, killed my mother, and then, just like Cinderella, I became that bitch's property. Picture this. I'm actually a trust fund baby. I don't even know. By the time I'm, 8, 9 years old, I am put to work. Oh, I have to be a good girl, and good girls help out. So at 9 years old, I have to clean the dishes. couldn't ask much of me because I'm just 8, 9 years old. But I have to clean the dishes, and if I can, I also have to clean the floors. Pretty soon, I start to actually enjoy cleaning up. So I elevate from dishes to the floor to the bathroom. Big mistake, it seems. I was enjoying it. They thought, oh yes, they can do more and I can do less. I became their motherfucking slave. I wasn't allowed to go anywhere. Good girls stay home. Good girls don't do this. Good girls don't do that. I didn't have any motherfucking rights. Meanwhile, my not a brother, I don't even know if it's really her son. I don't give a shit anymore. He could go and come and do what he wanted. He didn't have to lift a fucking finger. He didn't have to wash anything. You didn't have to take out the garbage. That was my job. I'm a girl and I have to take out the garbage. Then recycling started and I had to take out the recycling because at the time recycling program wasn't there yet. But then when it came, oh yes, it became my task also. And then when I understood how to do it, I also had to do the laundry. When that wasn't enough, when I was able to, I had to go do errands. Or I need to go this place, that place. Or someone asked something for me. Can you go get it for me, please? Can you do this? Can you do that? And then I grow up and then it never changes. And then it gets even worse because now that bitch doesn't know how to fucking do anything. And now I have to do every fucking thing for her. I have to configure her fucking phone. I have to help her how to fucking use it. I have to help her find the fucking remote. Bitch, how are you fucking lazy? How are you fucking that lazy? Apparently, you birthed me and it took 20 hours, right? I was born 1 p.m. in the afternoon, right? Bitch, you got me. You received me. You never fucking birthed me. And that is how they emotionally manipulated me my whole fucking life. How dare you talk to your mother like this? Oh, I birthed you, la da da. Oh, it was so hard birthing you. Nah, that's a motherfucking liar. All they do is fucking lie. And as if that wasn't enough, like I said, they're fucking sexual deviant. Here we go. Do you remember the last video? Not the one from today. The one from before when I said something about my father, who I thought was my earthly father, turns out not my father, probably my foster father. So that bitch, that big fat rat bitch that calls herself my mother is fucking not! They were my guardian. And they did this to me. They stripped me of everything. They took everything from me. My family killed my fucking mother, blocked my third eye chakra, my crown chakra. I was her fucking slave, not her daughter. I didn't have rights. I always had to tell her where I was going. How was I to know that I was being raised by a fucking familiar spirit? A fucking she-devil herself, himself, who gives a fuck what that shit is. Fucking sexual deviant was married to my foster father. And he loved me right away because how could he not? I'm lovable, duh. And they're fucking not. So you know what that bitch did? Fucked me with a carrot. With a motherfucking carrot. I don't know, from the time I was from the time I was 1.5 years old to the point that I was 3.5 years old. When all of a sudden, my not a brother stumbled on us. Well, I mean, I was a baby. My back was to the sink. I was laid there. And they were smiling at me like the fucking pumpkin. Ever since then, that fucking smile. I hated pumpkins because their smile, the toothless smile, the fake ass, I mean you no harm, and yet I'm gonna hurt you because I can. Yeah, that motherfucking kind of smile has haunted me my whole fucking life. And they were smiling like that while they were fucking me with a carrot. I don't know, eventually, what? They were thinking that at some point I would be old enough and they can actually sleep with me? Fuck you, bitch. Fuck you. So, okay. As if that wasn't enough. My not a brother stumbles into the bathroom and sees what's going on. So shocked, he drops his toothbrush. So you know what that bitch did? She turned it on my foster father, who actually loved me, who actually cherished me, who actually loved taking care of me. And basically said to the authorities that would hear her, them, that bitch, that they committed incest on me, that my foster father committed incest on me. And then that bitch, that fucking karmic, went to a spiritual karmicist and gave them orders to spiritually induce the authorities, the judge, her lawyer, the doctor, anyone involved, to make everyone believe in this motherfucking superchery that my foster father raped me, committed incest on me. As if that wasn't enough. My foster father lost his case. He lost his case. Yeah, he lost his case. He lost me. And by default, he also lost case of his custody of his son. Don't know if it's his son, who cares at this point? Look. That's just the tip of the iceberg, okay? That's just the tip of the iceberg. Before that, like, the biggest thing was, oh, my earthly father committed incest on me, but all motherfucking lies. All motherfucking lies. Corrupt officials, doctors, lawyers, judges, who gives a shit? All of them paid under the table to accept what that bitch was saying and to almost put my poor foster father in prison for the crime of loving me. And that is where it started. No one had access to me except that bitch. I almost had no friends. I wasn't allowed to have friends at home. And now I understand, because he did, the not a brother did. He had friends at home, no problem. But all of a sudden, overnight, my friend from school, primary school, whom we were cool together, like we were fine, no problem. And I met their parents. That bitch never knew about it. I met their parents all of a sudden, and we were cool. They loved me because I'm lovable. And overnight, what does that bitch tell me? When I asked to invite my friend, my best friend at the time, oh no, you can't invite them. I'm like, why not? They're my best friend. And they invited me to their house. Oh no, you're not going to their house. Okay, if they can come here, why can't I go there? Because you do as I say. And I said, you're staying here, you're not going anywhere, and they can come here. And I'm like, why? Give me a good reason. Because they're racist. I'm like, no, they're not. Yes, they are. Her parents are racist. I met them and they insulted me. So if they insulted me, then they don't need access to you. You are staying here with me. Here with me, you are safe. No one needs to be here for you. I am here for you. And that bitch that was here for you, here's what she did. Ostracize me. I have no friends. No one can come over. I'm not allowed to go to someone else's place. I have to learn to cook, and I don't want to cook at first because they're being a fucking dictatorial bitch and telling me what to do, and nobody fucking tells me what to do, so I fucking said no. And then I tried myself one day without that bitch in the way, because I wasn't going to fucking be controlled. I'm like, if I'm going to try it, then I'm going to try it because I want to try it. Not because you have something to fucking say about it. So I did what I did. And it was terrible. It was terrible. But then again, I had no guidance because that bitch gives no fucking guidance. So what did I do? I'm a researcher, right? So at the time, internet started to come around alive or whatever. We had a computer. I looked it up. I looked up recipes. I watched videos. YouTube wasn't there yet, but there were a few videos. And I looked at the images, and it's like all of a sudden something clicked, and I'm like, I think I know how to do this thing. I didn't tell that bitch that. I kept that to myself. And overnight, I started to cook by myself. I was afraid of the heat. Still am a bit. But I'm able to control it because I fucking love cooking. I love cooking, I love cleaning, I love keeping a house. Which means, obviously, I'm a wife. Okay. But overnight, I became like this genius cook. And every time I started to cook, they had something to say about it. No, that's how you should do it. No, this is how you should do it. No, you're not doing it right. Why aren't you doing it right? You're so stupid. Do it right. Do it like I do. Day in and day out. If it's not cooking, it's cleaning. If it's not cleaning, it's washing clothes. If it's not washing clothes, it's the garbage. Oh, I forgot this. Oh, I forgot to put this in the garbage. Me. Just me. And meanwhile, that another brother gets to live a motherfucking life. I don't. By that time, I'm 12, 14. By the time I'm 10 or 11, I start to get beat up. The not a brother too was not as much as me and not as hard as me. I get it now. I mean, I don't get it. Why? How would you get this? But I am a clairsentience. Therefore, I am a feeler. And I am a claircognizant, and I see past, present, future. That bitch hated me. Because no matter what they did to me, no matter how they treated me, no matter how ostracized they made me, still I rised. I was a Gucci cook at the age of 12, 13, 14. And I could do many different dishes. Some dishes I never tried before. I would try it and I would... success, like instant success. And meanwhile, that bitch only could do just 1 or 2, 3 recipes. That's it. Jealousy, envy. Sometimes they cleaned, but they never fucking clean good because they're fucking lazy. They love people to do things for them. So what's the point of them doing anything right? because they're gonna shun me and then criticize me and then basically make me believe that I'm the one who didn't do a good job and I need to go behind the shitty work that they did and make it all right. So after a while, what did I do? I just took up cleaning myself. I didn't even allow them to because they fucking suck at it. They suck at everything. They can't even sing right. Um, they can't sing right. They can't walk right. They can't talk right. They have no heart. They're fucking heartless. Hello, fuck me with a fucking carrot. Hello, almost put my foster father in prison just because he loved me. Let's continue. Meanwhile, I had men who wanted to be with me, like, men, boys, okay, boys. And I was starting to, like, get attention, and something used to happen all the time, and I didn't know why. For some reason, like my friends in primary school, girls, I wasn't comfortable with men for some reason. I didn't know why. Okay, and the little girls, at some point, we would be just playing, and like either my age or a little bit younger or a little bit older. And at some point, like, it would get too intimate, like they would touch on me. And I'm like, what are you doing? No, I don't like this. And the same sentence would come out of their mouth. Well, my daddy and I, we play like that all the time. We do this all the time. What's the problem? It's just a game my daddy and I play. Come on, I'll show you. It's really fun. Like, all the time. All the time. Okay? So now I didn't feel comfortable with men, but I didn't know why, and I definitely did not feel comfortable with girls either. But if I had to choose between the two, I thought, well, girls seem like the safer choice. Oh my gosh, they're the worst! And I mean karmic girls, okay? Don't take it personally, please. You know what, Lord? I don't think I'm gonna be able to do cards today. Finish my story? Okay. So yeah, boys wanted to date me. And I was interested, but I also was turned off, but I didn't know why. I didn't see there was a reason why, but I was turned off and I just didn't know why. But eventually, like, they won me over and I got to know them. And that started around like 10, 11. And then 11, it happened. I was cleaning the bitch's bedroom because I'm allergic to that, to dust. Ooh, to dust. I'm allergic to dust. And I was cleaning the top shelf because there was too much dust. I could smell it from the alley leading to her bedroom. I understand why now. Clear sentience. So I cleaned it up. And then a paper fell from the court. And it had my name on it. And then not a brother's name on it. And then there was another that had that bitch's name on it. And now I know foster father's name on it. And I'm like, well, that's their name. Doesn't concern me. Like, every time I ask, like, where's daddy? Where's daddy? Like, that was before I was 11. And every time they would be silent, the bitch would be silent and be like, just nothing, just saying nothing. And just like walking away. And that's it. And I never got an answer. And then that day, I looked at the paper that had my name on it. And not a brother's name on it. I read my section because it's my section. I'm not going to read his section. It's not about me. And it basically said that my now I know foster father raped me, committed incest on me. And I cried and I cried and I cried and I cried, and they came in like to the rescue, trying to rescue me, but secretly relishing in the feeling that they broke my heart with the truth. Whatever, fuck you. So anyway, meanwhile, years later, like recently, confronting them with that memory, you know what the bitch says to me? No, that's not what happened. It didn't fall. I left it on the bed for you to see. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why would you do that? So you would know the truth. I'm like, no, that's not how it happened. And you cannot fucking confuse me. Always trying to gaslight me, fucking bitch. Fucking lying bitch. But that shows their character, right? The fact that they would have the gall to say to me to my face, I left it there for you to see so you would know the truth. For me to stumble upon, if you really were my mother, if you really had a motherfucking heart, if you weren't a motherfucking karmic bitch, that is the last thing you would do. To purposely cause me harm? So I'm your slave. I'm your pet, basically. I'm your fucking pet at that point. And I have basically no friends, no real friends. Everyone, all the girls that are my friends 1 minute after that, they become karmics to me for some reason. Now I know why. Gossip, slander, and lies from that bitch. When I had my back turned, they would talk shit about me. I never knew. My entire life. I'm 37 years old, and they're still doing it today. What did I say before in the first video? Not the one from weeks ago, but the one from today, the one from before today. Not before today, but the one I filmed before this one today. That podcast devil has no fucking power. They're a fucking counterfeiter. They have no fucking imagination, so they all do the same thing, same shit every day. That's it all the time. Nothing else changes. Nothing changes. So here we go. I'm starting to realize this person doesn't really care about me. And I don't know why, since they're supposed to be my mother. I'm not even allowed to express myself. As soon as I have something to say, I'm pushed, I'm shoved, I'm insulted. I'm whipped with a belt. I'm whipped with a phone wire. I'm whipped with a sandal. I'm whipped with a book. A book from school that I lended, primary school. And then the cover was broke. And then I had to pay it myself from what they did to me with the book that I borrowed. Why? Just because I asked a question. Fucking bitch. I started to realize little by little they don't fucking care about me. So I started to be just about me. Now, because of the fake lies, of the fake childhood trauma that covered the whole other real childhood trauma that they hid from me, my memory, my recalling, my actual spiritual gifts and senses, I went into therapy. Fake ass therapy. Wasn't therapy. Corrupt ops officials. Like, that's all they do. They pay people to lie for them, to do what they can't because they have no fucking spiritual ability. None whatsoever. They're fucking karmic. And they send me and the not a brother to summer camp. Now because I start staying to myself, because I'm like, you know what? whatever that person is, I guess they're my mother. They don't love me, and honestly, I don't love them, so I don't give a shit. I'm gonna stay by myself with my plushies. With my plushies. Oh, I just realized something. I just realized something. It makes so much sense. It makes so much sense. Yep, getting rid of that shit. So, I had a unicorn. That was my favorite, still is my favorite fantastical animal. White and gold. White with gold mane. Used to call her Goldie. Goldie, which is what I called Gold. I had dolls. I had other plushies. And I had like things like a Barbie car that a friend neighbor of mine gave me because they didn't want it anymore. The daughter didn't want it anymore, and I was more than happy because I mean I believe in adoption, even toys. Who cares, you know? Give them a home. If they're not loved with me, they can be loved. So I accepted it. And what did that bitch do? That bitch said basically, "Oh, you're making me look bad by taking handouts from people. You're making me seem like, oh, I can provide for my children. Blah 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 blah." I said, "It's not about you. It's about me, and no one saw me. No one saw. No one sees. No one knows about you. You're always at home. You never come out. You're not sociable. This came from my friend, and I'm keeping it. It's mine." Like, okay, fine. So what did that bitch do? Waited until we went to summer's camp. Coming back, feeling happy. I'm gonna see my friends, my only friends at the time. Yep, my fucking non-life. My only friends at the time. I opened the closet because they convinced me to take them out of my room and leave them in the closet for whatever reason. Just make more space in the bedroom. Being a good girl, right? Because you have to be a good girl, right? I said okay, and I did. And I did. I opened the closet. Everything is gone. All of it is gone. Got rid of the only friends that I had left. Just wow. Even the little backpack, cute little purple backpack with drawings on it. I loved it. I used to use it between the entry door and the closet door. I would hang it. It had long strings, and I would put my plushies in them, and I would swing them like they were my only friends, like my only real friends. My friends that I make and like I'm lovable, and they find me lovable overnight. They would fucking be karmics to me because of that bitch, and I had no idea. So my plushies were my only friends, and that bitch got rid of them. And that little backpack that I used to swing my friends got rid of it. One day I remember I was swinging my plushies on it. That another brother came in. At the time I was 13, he was 14, 1 year apart. I can't believe this is my non-life. Like I said in the video before, the one I filmed today before this one, right now is my season of purging. So, um, One day I was just swinging my plushies. Another brother comes in. I go to the bathroom and I tell him, don't touch my plushie. I didn't say don't touch my backpack. So what did he do? I come out of the bathroom and he jumps on me out of surprise. And he puts the backpack on over my head. And he ties the string really tight. And then he did a fucking big knot. And he just left me there and he smiled and he laughed and he rejoiced. And he tried to kill me. I screamed. I shook. All that did was him laughing. So I was on the ground on my knees. And I'm panicking because I can't breathe. And I close my eyes. And I take small breaths in. Like this. And slowly I try to conserve the little air there is. There was still a little opening at the bottom. I try to breathe. And I untied it myself. I freed myself. And when I took it off, he was fucking smiling and laughing and pointing the finger at me. I didn't untie it actually. I got up still with it on my head and I walked in the alley. I trying to find my way and not trip. And I went to the kitchen and I got the scissors where I knew they were. And I had to cut the string from my beloved backpack. I took it out and I took a big breath. And I was stark living mad. And I was crying because I was just relieved that I didn't die. And then he's dancing around me, like in front of me, making fun of me. And I was boiling with rage. So enraged. Because not only I almost died, but now I can't even swing the only friends that I have. So I'm very protective of who I love and what I love. I found a pencil with a very sharp point on the desk that had the computer. He had his back turned to me. And I lunged at him. And I jumped on his back and he was laughing because he thought we were playing. I was out for motherfucking revenge. You not only tried to kill me, you stopped me from having fun with the only friends I have now. Fuck you, bitch. And I in his back. The point was this one. I didn't give a fuck. He almost fucking killed me. He needed to fucking suffer. So I made him suffer. Yelling in pain. Writhing on the floor. I'm not laughing because I'm not a fucking karmic. I'm just crying out of frustration. I'm like, why did you do this? You almost killed me! And all the kids say, "You fucking bitch!" Then what happens? The head bitch comes into the room and asks what's going on, what happened. And I switch them to try to fucking kill me. Pencil. I took the pencil end. And they're like, "You did what?" He said, "You heard me? I took the fucking pencil and I got revenge." You know what that bitch did? Took the point out of his back, and then healed him and treated him and all that. Told him that's not how you play with your sister, not the sister. And then they went and fetched the belt and whipped me for what I did to her son. I'm persuaded that it is her son, but it could also be someone else she quote unquote bought. I wasn't bought, I was provided to her with provision, and she fucking took my provision. Whatever. We're not going back to that now. So then, after the summer comes back, I come back. I open the closet to see me, the only friends that I have left, and they're gone. Everyone's gone. Goldie is gone. My dolls are gone. The Barbie car that I got, pink, my favorite color, gone. Everything is gone. My plushes are gone. Even my toys are gone. She got rid of everything. And what is her excuse? You're too old to play with toys. It's time for you to grow up now. What they actually meant, it's time for you to grow up into the slave that I need you to be for me. And that's exactly what happened. After that, everything I got, I kept it hidden because I knew that bitch was going to take it from me. Everything I bought, I would hide it when I got into the house. They never knew. I have so many things that they never knew I had, that I kept hidden just for the fear of them taking it from me. And because of the fear of them taking it from me, I would never pull them out. I would never enjoy them. I would never live my life. I didn't have a life. It was my non-life anyway. They're not my mother. They're not a mother. They're not a woman. They're not anything. That's not my brother. That's not a brother. That's not anything. Just say, if she fucked me with a fucking carrot, he tried to touch me sexually. And then when I flinched, it's like, we don't need to tell mom. Let's keep it a secret. Okay? We won't talk about it again. I won't try it again. My brother. Not my brother. Not a brother. Not a fucking thing. Family. We're not done. So let's continue. So by then I had to grow up very quickly because even though I never had a childhood, I never had a childhood. Not really. I had some increments of free space when all the other kids were around in our neighborhood, and to save face in front of everyone, they would allow me to be with them. But most often times, no, I have to stay home. Another needs me for this, for that, I need to do this, people need to do this, blah, 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 blah. They need my help with this, blah, blah, nah, nah. I didn't have life. I didn't have friends. And that's the thing. I never understood why. Days, weeks on end, no one would see me and no one would inquire about me. That's what the bitch told them. Probably things like, I don't know, or they don't like you. They said they don't want to see you again, blah, blah, blah. And they said that you're actually toxic and you're just not nice and they don't care about you and you're not a good friend or whatever. Lie to them about me, lie to me about them. What's the difference, right? From there on, at the time I was 12 until 17, almost every day it's like there's a man, a boy, a guy trying to sexually assault me. Everywhere I go, it never failed. Someone wanted to try to sexually assault me. And because I know what they did to my toys, and I know how they treat me, and I know they don't give a fuck about my feelings, why the fuck would I tell them my story, right? So I didn't. I kept it to myself. I dealt with it myself. I mean, I did try, 15 years old, to off myself twice. The second time around, I don't know who came, probably one of my ancestors or whatever, someone. God, I don't know. Oh, okay, well, ancestor just came here, so yeah. One of my ancestors came in and said basically, we understand, we're so sorry, honey, for what you're going through, but please don't try it a third time because we were able to stop it the first and second time. But if you try it a third time, there's no guarantee that we'll be able to bring you back. I didn't try to cut myself. I'm not a cutter, okay? And I didn't drink alcohol, not at that time. I was 15, 14, 15 or so. Okay, so no. Instead, at the time, I had really bad cramps. Red Week. I started Red Week, period, okay? Started Red Week when I was 10 years old. Most little girls get it 11, 12. I got mine at 10. I got mine at 10. And at first, I had 3 days. 3 days. And I didn't have cramps. Not really. They were fine at 10. But by the time I was 14, 15, I had really bad cramps. And 3 days turned into 4 to 5 days. Sometimes 6 days. What I didn't know is that bitch was doing blood magic on me. Not them, because like Stephanie P. Smith said, you have to be a blood relative in order for blood magic to actually fucking work. So what did the bitch do? They tracked down my real family or my existing real family members because they fucking killed my mother, right? Turns out I have a sister somewhere, a stepsister, half sister, gives a fuck. Fucking Carmisha herself. Privileged bitch. And I'm not saying, like, if you're privileged, you're a bitch, but that one is entitled, fucking toxic, jealous, envious as all get out, even though they have everything. They want you to have nothing. They wanted me to have nothing. They had all the money, everything. I had also, but the bitch took it away, and I had no idea. I never knew. I just found out this year, 2 months ago, that they stole my inheritance, that they killed my biological mother, that they had another murder committed. Because, like I said, they're karmic. They don't have spiritual gifts. They can't do anything, and they don't like to. dirty their hands at anything. That's why I was the slave, right? I was the Cinderella. So they arranged for, I don't know who it is, but I mean, it's either my biological father or my foster father, but apparently one of them left me something else, a house, property, money, something more than what I was already given, and that they fucking took from me. And they killed that person. They had arranged to have that person killed. And they endeavored to take my house from me and the money that came from it. And then that Carmisha, that bitch, that fucking dumbass, half step sister, I don't give a shit. I really don't, because they can't do shit to me anymore. My ancestors cleansed my blood. I'm no longer related to any of them motherfuckers. I wasn't related to that bitch anyway. But I'm no longer connected to that Carmisha or anyone from that family that I might have been remotely related to. So when they grew up, the Carmisha, I don't know her name, I don't care. I don't give a shit. I don't want to know any of them. They can fucking kiss my ass. So, that Carmisha, ex sister of mine, that bitch reached out to them, and that ex sister of mine endeavored to do blood magic rituals on me. That was from, I'd say, 2011, 2012. 2011, 2012. I don't know what changed, but I think probably, they had a reading done and they saw that something is coming for me and they wanted it, because they're fucking karmic. Both of them. So from then on, up until, 2011, 2012, up until 2021, sorry, 2020, no, 2021, no, 2021, it was on and off. But like chronic, it was from 2011 to 2011, 2012, up until 2020, up until 2020. And so, I don't know what they did, and I don't care to know. Not yet, though. But what resulted from that is that I had abscesses in my groin area. I would get a few months respite and then all of a sudden another breakout. I dealt with it on my own. The karmic bitch will claim that they helped to clean up the mess that they created, but honestly, it was just because they fucking like to be needed, and needed by the one that they persecute. Like, you're on my mercy, and now you need my help. You're really fucking nothing, and I'm everything. her audience. But really, they were just there for the joy of penser le bobo, of putting a bandage once the whole thing was done. But the whole purging was me. I had to trial and error. At one point, they told me, I, I, I looked into it, I asked someone, and they told me that green clay will help to make it go away. I used it, green clay, put it on the abscess. That was the first and only time I did that. The abscess was this big. It became this big. And I had to go through it myself. I purged it myself. I learned by trial and error that hot water is the way to go. Hot scalding water, no less. Not just hot water from the tap. No, like hot water boiling on the stove, hot water in the microwave, that kind of boiling water. And compresses, like not towels, but like hand towels. And on top of that, you have to put another towel to keep the heat on because it's a towel, so the heat goes out fast. And because of that, I can't move. All I can do is walk in crab leg motion because it's here or inside. And now, quite recently, it went up my ass. Like I said, it's healing and it's never coming back again because my blood has been fucking cleansed. They would only show up to help when the purging was done. That means I took care of getting the abscess to pop with all the heat. And every time I would ask to bring more hot water, they would look annoyed. Like they would bring it like two backs and forth was enough for them. Okay, that's enough. Like I've done enough. Okay, you have enough, and then they would leave. I have to fend for myself, right? I've done it my whole life. I had to. No one's gonna do it for me. No one's gonna help me. So I did. From 2011, 2012, all the way to 2019, 2020. I went to work sometimes with abscesses, and I came back from work with abscesses, and I had to deal with them on my own, like I deal with everything on my own. Then, unbeknownst to me, I was spied on because at some point, I complained and I cried to that bitch about my plushies, especially my unicorn. And they gave me three baby unicorns, a pink one, a blue one, and a white one. And now I'm realizing there was probably a surveillance system that always fucking spying on me. No more. Like, the hacking is done. It's really hard. And I'm too slow and purging. But anyway, they hacked my phone since the first time I had my own phone. They hacked it. They looked into my things. There is no such thing as a spiritual hacker, guys. No such thing as a spiritual narcissist. Just narcissists who go to spiritual pharmacists to do their fucking bidding. There's no such thing as a spiritual narcissist. There's no such thing as a spiritual hacker. It's just corrupt officials who get money under the table and they hack your system. I lost job after job after job. Why? Because that bitch. Oh, what is that? A drop of water